Tyler's girlfriend, Brooklyn, fits perfectly into this charade. She claims to be a lifestyle and wellness influencer. She has around 3,000 followers on her social media, the vast majority of whom appear to be Asian bots. She constantly posts pictures of colorful smoothies and sunset yoga poses, while shamelessly living off the monthly allowance my parents deposit for Tyler. I only recently found out by accident. They give him $800 a month. Tyler literally gets paid to exist and breathe. I worked night shifts until I was coughing up blood to pay for college. The content Brooklyn posts on her social media is completely predictable. Empty motivational quotes over generic photos, sponsored detox teas that don't work, and yoga poses in expensive workout clothes paid for by my father. One day she approached me and told me, quite seriously, that she was building a digital empire and directly asked me to invest in growing her personal brand. She wanted $5,000 in cash to pay for a professional photo shoot on the beach and launch Instagram ad campaigns. I told her no. She laughed, sincerely believing I was joking. I looked her straight in the eye and clearly reiterated that I wasn't going to give her a single penny of my savings for her silly photos on the sand. Brooklyn was immediately offended, pouted dramatically, almost childishly, and ran hysterically to complain to Tyler. He, predictably, didn't take 5 minutes to come and confront me with that insufferable big brother attitude he always pretends to have, even though he's 4 years younger than me. He told me I was a selfish miser, that I earned more than enough to help the struggling family, and that supporting Brooklyn's project was investing in a bright future for everyone. My response was simple, sharp, and direct. My money cost me years of blood, sweat, freezing early mornings carrying boxes, and sleepless nights studying. It wasn't a blank check magically signed by our parents like the ones he was used to receiving every month. The argument escalated quickly, and voices rose. Hearing the shouting from downstairs, my parents rushed upstairs to intervene. As had been the painful habit of my entire life, they sided with Tyler and Brooklyn without a second thought. My mother gave me that look of chronic disappointment she always reserved exclusively for me. She told me reproachfully that family is meant to support each other through thick and thin, that I was a disappointment for being so selfish, and that she didn't understand why it was so hard for me to help my brother's beautiful dream, considering my excellent income and supposed job security. It was at that very moment that something inside me, something that had been simmering for years, completely snapped. 20-odd whole years of biting my tongue to keep the peace, of bowing my head to avoid conflict, of silently accepting the miserable role of the invisible son, and of bitterly swallowing my own accomplishments, all came rushing to the surface in a single volcanic eruption. I started screaming every damn number my brain had jealously guarded in its memory. I rubbed in their faces the restored Mustang, the ridiculous $400 graduation party that barely scraped by, and the astonishing $180,000 thrown straight down the drain on fraternities and failed degrees while he got drunk at the state university. Brooklyn wept crocodile tears in a corner, and Tyler clenched his fists, red with pure fury and impotence in the face of the truth. My mother started screaming hysterically that I had always been a hopeless, bitter person, and that my awful attitude was the real reason I didn't fit in at home. And then it happened, the infamous moment that started this story. At the height of the chaos, my mother glared at me with visceral hatred, a contempt so pure it froze me to the bone, and screamed at the top of her lungs, "I wish you'd never been born. You're a mistake that's only brought bitterness to this house." The ensuing silence was thick and suffocating. I processed in real time that the woman who gave me life regretted doing so, purely and simply because I refused to give them money. I didn't flinch. I looked her straight in the eye, grabbed my keys from the cabinet, and replied in the coldest voice I could muster, "Consider me dead." I walked out the door and didn't look back. Months later, I learned that the Brooklyn account had been shut down for using illegal bots, and my parents had to refinance their mortgage, drowning in Tyler's debts. I, for my part, achieved a monumental national promotion. At the end of the day, the son they hated so much got his wish. He no longer exists for them, and for the first time in my life, I am completely free.